There's going to have to be another 9,400 homes in Eastleigh potentially, and when it comes down to it, nobody is able to allocate those homes specifically to Eastleigh residents. What I find absolutely amazing, having looked at the figures, and I'm very grateful to one of the team who did this analysis for me, an average resident here in Eastleigh is going to have to try and get a mortgage 9 times their income to be able to buy a home in, for instance, Borley Green.
Independent.
I'm 30 years living here, married man, 3 kids that have all grown up here. I know Eastleigh really well. Eastleigh knows me quite well, and that's why I thought this would be an opportunity to say Eastleigh needs an MP. We don't need the party machine whipping us back with nothing that we asked for. So I'm actually on the ground saying, I understand Eastleigh. Eastleigh, vote for me.
Jim Duggan is the Peace Party candidate. The Irish-born peace activist has worked in radio, marketing and the building industry.
As a small party who believes in peace and respect and tolerance and our principles, there are local issues with the cuts to the children's, to the facilities, to the services, etc. We'll address those as we run up to the date. But I think poverty, war, really, that's our aim. Peace, you know.
Colin Becks is the Wessex Regionalists candidate. An architect-planner from Winchester, this is the 7th parliamentary seat he's contested since 1977.
We're standing for a new type of government in this country, which is that it shall be bottom-up rather than top-down diktat from Westminster and Brussels, and we want a parliament for Wessex, for the region of Wessex, the 8 counties, with no less powers than Scotland, Wales and Cornwall.
David Bishop is standing for the Elvis Loves Pets party. A retired painter and decorator, he's contested several other seats, most recently the Corby by-election last year.
I'm standing to raise issues like banning air guns to protect pets and wildlife, and I'd also like to have an inquiry from the government into why vets' fees cost so much. I'm also campaigning against the bedroom tax because I think it's very unfair and a lot of people are going to be very unhappy because of it. And I'd also like to see a statue of Benny Hill erected in Eastleigh because I think it would attract a lot of tourists and it would liven the place up a bit. Thank you very much.
Michael Walters is the Kent area chairman of the English Democrats and served in the armed forces in the 1970s.
We are standing in this by-election for the people of England. We believe they deserve a devolved parliament equivalent to Scotland. We stand against corruption, we stand against racism, and we stand against dodgy politicians who would fool the public into voting for them.
Yes, and is standing for the National Health Action Party.
The main thrust of our party, as the name suggests, is to save and improve the National Health Service, which is seriously under threat from privatisation. This was started by the Labour government by marketising healthcare, and the coalition government are extending this by moving towards full privatisation of healthcare in England.
25 to 1.
Ray Hall is an Eastleigh silversmith and is standing for the Beer, Baccy and Crumpet party.
My main policy is that excise duty and VAT should be 0 rated on draft beer. In that way, beer will be able to sell retail through the pubs at between £1.50 and £2 per pint. Something like 1 pub per day is closing. That's the loss of 4,000 jobs a year.
Kevin Milburn worked in the prison service for more than 30 years. He's now a local pastor and is the candidate for the Christian Party.
I'm standing in this election because I want to give the people of Eastleigh, and I think also it may well be the people of the country generally, an opportunity to have their vote, as it were, upon this very important subject of changing the definition of marriage. Marriage is defined as being a union between one man and one woman, and in that union there is the procreation of the human race, the family.
Howlin' Lord Hope is the leader of the monster raving loony William Hill party. He's a veteran of several campaigns and at the last election stood against David Cameron in Witney.
I've been to Eastleigh a couple of times. I find it a very, very happy and enjoyable place, but it could be better. What we would like to see, along the lines of, if in Liverpool, if they can change the name of Speke Airport to the John Lennon, we would like the Southampton Eastleigh Airport to be named the Benny Hill. What fun that would be.
Daz Proctor is an executive member of the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union and is standing for the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition.
Yeah, I'm standing because I want to make a change and look after the millions and not the millionaires. Working class societies are being broken up for financial gain of the billionaires and the millionaires, privatisation, the NHS, fragmentation of, for the sake of big business, and the call on working class society, when really we should be looking to the financial institute.
Yeah, the big story today about the Eastleigh by-election has been the Lord Reynard scandal. Nick Clegg was in Southampton today talking to a local BBC radio, and he wanted to get his case across that they just harassed him on this sexual harassment case. They were talking to people in the street today about this, and I think the BBC local coverage has been really quite unbiased, and it's not like me to say that because I think the BBC is normally very biased in a liberal left direction, but they were looking at this and saying, a lot of folks think that okay, the allegations that Lord Reynard, a senior politician in the Liberal Democrat Party, touched up a number of women, made inappropriate and unwanted sexual advances to a lot of women, asked people to go to bed with him for advancement within the party. Yeah, all these allegations, I genuinely have no opinion on whether they are true or not, and I believe in innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, the guy should be investigated, but it's very interesting that these allegations have come up just at this particular time, and a lot of people on the street, I think very fair-minded of them, said, yeah, this is very interesting, it sounds like dirty tricks, and it shouldn't influence the way we vote. Interesting. There have been a lot of nasty tricks though thrown at the Conservative candidate as well, particularly with some comments she's alleged to have made about her handicapped son's education. Now, I have a handicapped daughter and she was not well served by the education system, so whatever Mrs Hutchins said for the Conservative Party, I think probably it's been a bit hard to treat her as bad as they did. But I did watch her on the TV on Sunday in the hustings on the television, and I did not think she acquitted herself very well. There was a lot of, oh, I've got 4 children and I live round here and I've been on some protest marches against the building of homes in Borley Green. Well, everybody has been. I didn't actually, although Borley Green is 800 yards from where I live, and that my view out the back garden will be ruined. But I didn't go on any of the protest marches because I think, well, sod it, they're going to build these houses anyway. They've got to stick to 3 million immigrants and the white flight people that they've driven out of the inner cities somewhere. So what's the point of objecting? It's going to be a done deal. But I didn't think she acquitted herself very well. I thought Diane James came across as a much more professional, quick-minded person who could conduct herself more effectively and will be a more effective MP. Anyhow, so that's some of the stuff from the Eastleigh by-election. It's going to happen in 2 days from now. I'll post a few comments between now and then, possibly. Certainly I'll post a comment after the election. Probably after that I'll delete all of these posts, a bit like yesterday's newspapers, you throw them away when they're over. But it's going to be a blooming interesting by-election, and the BBC man was saying this. He said, look, almost anything could happen. Or, national BBC News was being broadcast from, the high street of the village where I live tonight. So it is a fascinating election. I'm a partisan. I've made my mind up. I just hope that everybody will. I really mean this. I hope people will vote UKIP, because if you vote Labour, they're not going to win. It's just a vote for, frankly, a communist party. If you vote Liberal Democrat, okay, then probably the Liberal Democrat will be elected. There's a pretty good chance of it, and nothing will change. If you put Maria Hutchins in, frankly, I don't think you'd be doing her a favour. I mean, she's got 4 children, one of them handicapped. Frankly, I don't care what anyone thinks of me for saying this. I think she should be at home looking after them. Yeah, same as Sarah Palin. I thought and said the same about Sarah Palin. She'll shoot her mouth off, yeah, but she won't make any difference to anything. But if we put Diane James in to Parliament, we will make history. We will scare the pants off the senior politician bullies who are telling us what to do, what to think, who are picking our pockets and selling us to the European Parliament, the unelected European Commission. And there will be at least one person in Parliament who is not in the pocket of the trade unions, who is not in the pocket of big business, who is not in the pocket of Europe, is not in the pocket of single issue pressure groups, and who will be able to say what she thinks, and from what I've seen of Diane James, will make a blooming good job of doing it. So, you know, if you vote anyone other than UKIP, nothing different is going to happen. If enough people vote UKIP, something pretty different will happen, and at least it should give us some pretty good theatre in the exchanges that will take place in Parliament. So go on, vote UKIP, just like the people in Brighton voted Green.